Bulletcast for life.
Get up! This is a revolution! This is our time to rise! Look deep within your mind! Look deep into the hate in my eyes! We are the elite! And you are the weak, no matter how...
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You know the name, you know the voice, you know exactly why I'm here. I am a microphone messiah, and of course, I'm the leader in the evolution of the audio revolution, but you know I never do it alone. He's my tag team partner, the Jim to my J, the Teller to my Arm, the Stevie Ray to my Booker T. Ladies and gentlemen, host of the award-winning Under the Radar, host of Creative Curveballs and Chair Shots, a 9-time and first ever Bulletcast champion, the Canadian Destroyer, BT, Brandon Dan Guma. Brandon, episode 198. We are 2 weeks away from the biggest podcast of both of our broadcasting careers. Are you excited?
So excited. I just cannot hide it.
Absolutely. And we know it this Sunday is Survivor Series where Raw and SmackDown battle for brand supremacy. It is the farewell to The Undertaker, probably the greatest character in the history of this business. Come on, man.
I was so excited for Survivor Series. I will be honest, I did not know it was this weekend.
What?
I know.
No. We have some sad news to talk about. Smokey has passed away. Yeah, last week during our Bulletcast recording, actually, it happened a few moments before that. So official time of death was about 12:02. What was the date? We have to get the date correct. 12:02 from November 12th of 2020. He had a good long fulfilled life, you know, beeping up a storm. He made it on in the click before you did. You had an invite, but you passed it, you know. But yeah.
It's sad day. Unfortunately, you know, Smokey. Some might say he's the best third man we ever had, and you know it's tough times. But I think we're gonna, you know, buckle up our boots, whatever they say. We're gonna get on going without him in his memory.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, we need a third man for the regular episodes of the Bulletcast. So if you're interested, please DM us the Bulletcast on Instagram, at Bulletcast on Twitter. Bulletcast2 is in the number 2 suite swet@gmail.com. You know, hit us up, seriously, you know. We'd love to have you. We'd give you a trial run. Absolutely. But before we get into everything that happened within the past week and a half, last Friday was the 15-year anniversary of the death of the legendary Eddie Guerrero Latino Heat. Baby Huey and I did this one in the clip, just kind of gave like our thoughts about Eddie and some of our favorite moments and matches. So Brandon, I mean, what did you love about Eddie? You know, how did he make you feel about the business?
Well, we also did a tribute to Eddie Guerrero on Curveballs and Chair Shots. Every Friday we talk sports and wrestling if you want to go check it out. But, you know, that's your prerogative. You can do whatever you want. But for me personally, Eddie Guerrero is probably one of my favorite childhood wrestlers of all time. You know, as I keep saying, you know, I started watching 2002. So kind of watching Eddie glow up and win the championship in 2004. You know, he was definitely one of my favorites. But he's one of those guys that has like an interesting career because he wasn't like the top guy ever, but yet when it comes to the fans, it seems like everyone loves Eddie.
Yeah, he's like the one of the very few wrestlers where nobody has anything bad to say about him. I mean, Eddie was a tremendous talent. We know it's talked about to death, especially when APW ran those Cow Palace shows, that you know he won the WWE title in the Cow Palace, defeating Brock Lesnar No Way Out February of 2004. I mean, Eddie, for me, man, like when I started watching wrestling in 2004, actually, my 16-year anniversary is coming up Sunday, the day of Survivor Series. I remember just being captivated by him, and he was one of the people that really made me fall in love with this business. I only caught the last year of his career and unfortunately his life, but it was great to see, man. I mean, anytime I wrestled in my living room with my friends, I did the Eddie chair spot, you know. He was just such a captivating performer. Like, he made me love this so much. I mean, he lied, he cheated, and he stole our hearts. Thank you, Eddie. 100%.
And to be honest, I think when Eddie passed away, that might have been like one of the first ever times like a celebrity death like actually kind of hurt me a little bit because I mean, for the most part, you know, there was wrestler deaths that happened, but I didn't watch them. I didn't know who they were. But when Eddie died, you know, he was still on the back half of his career, but he was still a focal point in WWE, and then he just kind of passed away like that. And then unfortunately had a couple years later with Chris Benoit, kind of the similar situation. But I mean, it really does suck. But you know, 15 years later, people are still talking about him. That just kind of shows you the impact that he had.
Absolutely, 100%, man, 100%. And the matches he could have had with guys coming in like a CM Punk and a Daniel Bryan. Like even if Eddie wrestled for like 10 more years, he could have gotten there with Moxley and Rollins and Roman and Wyatt and stuff like that. We could have saw some probably some really cool stuff, man. But R.I.P. Eddie, you are forever missed. So SmackDown that day, we have Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre getting a promo against each other. Drew said, "I'm going to be the one to face you at Survivor Series because I'm going to beat Randy for the title." And Roman's like, "Well, hey man, nobody watches Raw because everybody's watching me. Everybody's watching SmackDown." What were your thoughts on this?
I think the promo might have been a little too meta from Roman's side of things. As you said, no one watches Raw anymore. Everyone watches me because I'm the big dog and everyone watches me. But he should just go stick to the basics. And this, I'm the best. I'm the best champion. You don't have a belt. I do. So get you a belt and, then we can talk. But I mean, with Drew coming out and Randy nowhere to be seen, it did kind of foreshadow what happened on Monday, which we can talk more in depth when we get to it. But I mean, it was okay. And when we first saw the title switch at Hell in a Cell, I was wondering maybe they want to save this match because this could be a really big deal. Now, it still could be a big deal later on down the line, but especially with only like a week's build, maybe kind of rushing things a little bit with this match.
Absolutely, 100%. And then later on, we see Drew McIntyre defeat Roman's cousin Jey Uso. Roman did not look pleased about this.
As much as Jay is getting the boost with Roman, Drew definitely should have won this match. And it continues on with the story of Jay and Uso, and Jay and Roman, kind of going back and forth a little bit, and Roman not being too pleased with his cousin. So match was fine. I think Jay has definitely been showing that he can wrestle singles these last few months.
Absolutely. The Mysterio Rollins rivalry is finally over. Ray gets a big win over Seth Rollins this past Friday to conclude the feud.
It's about time. I mean, it was a good match. Nice to see them working well together. Maybe they'll, we're going to see a new chapter with Murphy and Aaliyah and the Mysterio clan all together as one big happy family. Can't wait.
Absolutely. Outside of the ring, ladies and gentlemen, the WWE Thunderdome is going to relocate on December 11th to the Tampa Bay Rays Tropicana Field. Starting December 11th with Friday Night SmackDown, and I guess all WWE events will be held there until April of 2021. So, Brandon, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, we knew that this move was coming eventually, not exactly the Tropicana Field, but with the NBA starting up at the end of December, we knew that the Thunderdome was going to be no more in Orlando, and it was just a matter of time. I mean, people were kind of speculating maybe they move out of state, but keeping it in the Florida area, Tampa. I don't exactly know how far Tampa is from Orlando, but
90 minutes.
So, a 90-minute drive, that's really not too bad for wrestlers, especially those stationed in Orlando. So, I mean, we've seen wrestling setups in baseball stadiums before. We have the Royal Rumble last year or this year and the year before. So, I mean, it's going to be a different atmosphere. It's going to be different. It's going to be maybe even better because it's a bigger arena or a bigger whatever field. And they can do a little bit more with it.
Yeah, I hope they they close off a lot of it for like Raw and SmackDown, and then when it's a pay-per-view, really open it up to make it feel a little bit different. I hope they do stuff like that.
There still would be, even with the virtual fans, there'd still be more fans there than at a Rays game.
Wow.
That's coming from an Oakland A's fan, so
All right.
I feel the struggle.
All right. Zelina Vega, she was released from WWE last week, and people are reading way too much into this. She tweets, "I support unionization," and then 10 minutes later, WWE announces her release. She wasn't released for that tweet, ladies and gentlemen. WWE has put a strict ban on all third-party platforms, and she was well aware of that, and she created an OnlyFans where she was going to be showing off like costumes and lingerie and whatever like that, and she went against the company policy, and plus like OnlyFans, like we're not stupid, we don't know what that is, and even if she wasn't going to be doing that, it still has a negative and provocative look, and you don't want somebody that's on your roster and a representative of your company to be affiliated with anything like that. Yeah.
Well, it looks like Phillip will be taking the company stand on this one. So I completely support Zelina Vega. She had a talk with the people over at SAG, the people who unionize the Screen Actors Guild, the actors, which who knows, maybe we're going to finally see unionization with wrestlers. But I mean, we've gone over this multiple times with the Twitch and the other things that go on, Patreon and stuff like that. And I mean, it's really a crappy situation. It's nice to see that someone is taking a stand. And Zelina Vega, I mean, she has a really nice following on Twitch. Who knows if she was making more money than she was making in WWE on her downside guarantee. Aleister Black, husband, who knows what's going to happen with him. He's probably going to get buried or treated even poorer than what he normally was be doing.
He's gonna get put through a table every week on SmackDown by Kevin Owens.
I mean, he wants to go to NXT. Don't think that's going to happen. But I mean, shout out to Zelina Vega. If she's not like the face of this, she's kind of like, the first person to get the ball rolling. And I think we're going to be seeing, more wrestlers take the stand, especially with AEW, that there is freedom out there, that wrestlers don't have to go and just do everything Vince McMahon says.
I mean, bro, look, Zelina, she's a talented performer. I love her work. She wasn't gonna really move the needle with this. You know what I mean? If a Randy Orton or a Roman Reigns or Cena take or somebody like that, yeah, okay, then more eyes are gonna get on it. It's unfortunate that she was released because of this, but you have to look at it. Every company, wrestlers are independent contractors. They're independent contractors in TNA, AEW, New Japan, Ring of Honor, MLW that just restarted. It's not just WWE that's doing this kind of thing. Now, all these other companies I just named, they're not putting strict bans on third-party platforms, but yet and again, they're all independent contractors. That's just the nature of the beast.
But they're not independent contractors by the letter of the line WWE.
I mean, let's be serious. Are all these other companies paying for people's medical and stuff? No.
Independent contractors, you're not supposed to be paying them medical and everything. That's why WWE is doing this. The reason they're independent contractors is because they're getting paid for the dates, which for AEW, for Impact, for whatever, you come in, you work your dates, and then you can work somewhere else. Now with the pandemic, there's no indie, so they can't really go elsewhere.
I mean, it's okay. It's really fine, I really do look at it now. Now WWE, they weren't always like this. They had dealings with like All Japan, and of course ECW would make its way in like the mid 90s and stuff like that. But it's just the nature of the beast now,
So
it's just the way things are now. It's unfortunate.
It's just the nature of the beast that WWE has to restrict and control everything about their employees' lives, even though they're not actually employees.
Yes, it is.
I think we're just going to have to agree to disagree on this one.
Absolutely. The internet's probably going to eat me alive for that one. Oh, Jesus. I can't wait for the response on that. WrestleMania is possibly being pushed back to late March, early April. Or no, not late March. It was already going to be in late March. It's going to be pushed back to like mid-April. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, we're at the really stay tuned to find out what's going to happen with the pandemic. I know they've already moved it from LA to Tampa again. So, Florida a little more laxed on their restrictions for attendance. But I mean, if they want to move it back to April, that's perfectly fine, just to kind of see where the lay of the land is. It's WrestleMania. I don't think anyone's going to really hate too much on it. Maybe that means we're not going to have a elimination chamber or some dumb, or maybe that means we're going to get another one because it's getting pushed back. Oh God.
Oh, I mean, I love Elimination Chamber. We need more of them. Absolutely. All right, Randy Orton takes a major shot at the Good Brothers. They hosted another Talkin' Shop Mania. And this is what the Viper had to say. I would rather wrestle the Great Khali and Nathan Jones in a 2-on-1 handicap match than order this joke of a pay-per-view that issues on the business I have dedicated my life to. Hashtag Talkin' Shop Mania 2. Very strong words from the Viper. Very strong words. What are your thoughts on that?
Phillip, I hate to burst your bubble, but I think this is a bit, and I think Randy Orton's being funny.
Oh, absolutely.
I know he's not that funny on air, but he's trying to be funny on Twitter.
I mean, I've never actually seen these Talkin' Shop Manias. Are they good?
I have seen like clips. I've always kind of wanted to like check it out because I listen to Talkin' Shop a time or two, so I kind of understand their comedy, but having like, put down the $20 or whatever it is to watch the show.
Well, why don't you watch it and then you tell me if it issues on the business.
Maybe we can. I'll watch them and then I'll do it under the radar. So whenever I watch Talkin' Shop, that's when Under the Radar comes back.
What? It's been 7 months? Oh my
Once the
God.
pandemic is over, then maybe Under the Radar will come back.
Maybe
But
just, I mean, I think Cindy's ITK, I mean, not ITK, ITS is just taking over for you now.
yeah, well, she's doing a lot better job than I ever did.
One week, we're going to have all 3 shows running the same week. That's going to be great.
Mm-hmm.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Undertaker was on Hot Ones today. You know, he's been breaking character. You know, he held it up tight for almost 30 years, and he was on there with Sean Evans. You know, just talking shop about the business, eating hot wings. It was great. It was a great watch. I really enjoyed it.
Well, I've not seen it yet. I've liked Hot Ones. We've had Sasha Banks, Chris Jericho. I think Stone Cold's been on it too. So Undertaker, just another one to add to the list.
Absolutely, yes. The BSK will be at Survivor Series. We got the Godfather. We got Savio Vega. That was the one that really hit me. I was like, whoa, we haven't seen that dude since like '98 or something like that. So you know, it's gonna be cool to see the Bone Street Crew making their way back to WWE to support the Take man. Big Take.
Yeah, I really don't know what's going to happen at Survivor Series. I know we might talk a little bit more about it when we get to the preview, but should be fun. Should be, the Undertaker just cutting a promo. Maybe Mark Calloway cuts a promo. I don't exactly know, but yeah, I mean, if they parade a bunch of legends out to have one last hurrah with Undertaker, that's cool.
Absolutely, man. All right, Oral Sessions with Renee Young. Yes, this is a new podcast that's going to be debuting. What are your thoughts on this, Renee? She's released a cookbook since leaving the juggernaut that is WWE, and now she's going to be hosting her own podcast. It's going to be unfiltered, ladies and gentlemen.
I believe this would not be with Rene Young. This be with Renee Paquette.
Yes. I mean, the people may not know that's her last name, so we have to do the, as seen on WWE, Renee Young, now known as Renee Paquette. Absolutely.
Renee Moxley.
Absolutely. What are your thoughts on this?
I mean, I loved Renee on Talking Smack and all the other different talk shows types of things that she did. So, I mean, I'm going to have to go check it out. I know she's kind of a sports fan. Maybe I don't know exactly what the format of the show will be, but I'll check it out. I'll see what's going on.
Absolutely, 100%. And also Renee Young is pregnant. Moxley announced it during his promo on Dynamite, and the world was like, "Oh my God!" So that's great. Shout out to them, the happy couple. They're going to be welcoming a little Mox bug. Going to be welcoming them into the world next year in 2021. Some good news in 2020.
Yeah, some good news. We got that announcement. Then Becky Lynch just randomly popped up on Instagram and shared a photo shoot with her and Seth, and we got to see an updated pregnancy. That was weirdly stated. An updated look of the man.
Absolutely, yeah, I love it. I love it. I really do. It's great. It's fantastic. So inside of the ring, MLW, the restart. They've been on hiatus, as most wrestling companies have been during the majority of this pandemic. And, we saw guys like Myron Reed and Brian Pillman Jr. go at it for the middleweight title. We saw Alex Hammerstone. He's the current West Coast Pro champion. He's the national openweight champion MLW. He demolished a guy. And we saw Jacob Fatu, Big Oos, defend the MLW World Heavyweight Championship against David Hart Smith Jr. It was okay. I wanted to see what they were going to do in this current era that we are living in, and I think they did okay. I think they did all right. And we are moving towards a feud with Alex Hammerstone, who has that Hulk Hogan 1987 tan brother, going up against Jacob Fatu for the world title. I'm a fan of this.
Well, I haven't really checked out MLW that much, but I definitely went out of my way to watch the restart. I thought it was a good show. It's kind of different look than what we're normally used to with the other shows around the business. So, fantastic show.
Did you actually watch this?
Of course, I watch everything.
Okay, what was your favorite match?
The one you said for the middleweight title.
How did that end? What was the finishing move?
With the pinfall.
I mean, what was the move?
There was just Phillip, I watched so much wrestling. I can't just pinpoint exactly what move ended whatever match.
It was an air raid crash. He calls that Captain Crunch. Come on now, man. Come on now.
I was just stealing moves from Tommaso Ciampa, killing the business.
I mean, Sheamus started it. Finley started it back in the day, so they stole it from Finley. Fit Finley back in WCW. Yes, sir.
Killing the business. Ishing on the business, just like Randy Orton said.
Absolutely. All right. we have Rampage Brown. He was in WCPW, What Culture Pro Wrestling, and Defiant over in the UK. Now he's in NXT UK. I've been a fan of his work for quite some time. Remember we used to cover them back when we started this podcast all those years ago. You know,
Nope. I got nothing.
you don't remember? You don't remember?
I can't remember anything except for the MLW show. I remember that.
Okay, of course. Well, speaking of NXT UK, Dragunov and Walter, they had a a match that was praised by Jim Cornette, and he doesn't like anything from today's wrestling. It was for the NXT UK title, and Brandon, this was very good. I enjoyed this thoroughly.
I thought it was very good as well. Enjoyed it thoroughly. Walter retains, right?
If you watched it, then
Of course he did. I'm just questioning you because you never watched NXT UK. You know, you're not the NXT guy.
I watch the NXT UK pay-per-views, of course. You know, I watch I watch some of their shows. You know, Dragunov he went to war with Walter. I mean, kicks and punches and the chops. It was brutal. It was absolutely brutal. I loved it. I loved everything about it. I need to start watching the show on a regular basis now. Seriously, I do. All right, Matt Seidel is All Elite. Tell us about Matt Seidel signing with AEW.
Well, Matt Seidel has signed with AEW. I mean, we saw him with the moonsault around the world when he showed up at All Out. You know, he shows up on Dark, gets some wins, is on Dynamite, maybe gets a win every now and then, but he's kind of like that the veteran that everyone knows that is there to kind of take a loss. But I think he has some name value from WWE, but he's not pushed at a at a pace that kind of devalues some of the other guys that might have some higher upside.
Absolutely, absolutely. I really enjoyed that. You know, Matt Seidel. I mean, of course, fame in WWE. He did some things with Ring of Honor, and of course some stuff with Impact. I can't wait to see what's going to be happening with him in AEW. All right, the Good Brothers, they win the Impact Tag Team Championships at Turning Point, which wasn't really like a big pay per view, kind of like how WWE does like the network specials, like Smackville they did last year. Yeah, it was basically that. I mean, they win. Deanna Purrazzo, she regained her Knockouts title. Yeah, Good Brothers. I think they're the only team, if I'm not mistaken, to win. I think probably besides the Dudleys to win tag titles in Impact, WWE, and New Japan. That's a huge accomplishment.
Good for the Good Brothers. I mean, I think maybe people thought they would get him a little sooner, but they're here now. Impact, be honest, I haven't been watching. I always record it, and there's always like a split second where I'm like, you know what, maybe I'll check it out, and then I just end up deleting it and not watching it.
Oh,
I know they're bringing in some women's tag team titles.
Yes, the Knockouts tag titles are returning. You
And my
know,
girl Jordan Grace is teasing a big legend going to team with her.
oh, Awesome Kong.
I don't know.
Velvet Sky, beautiful. If the beautiful people came back and made a run with those, I'd watch Impact. Yeah,
Well, you have to stay tuned and find out.
absolutely. Beautiful people. Met them at Starcast. Great people. Great girls. All right, Brandon, it's on the script. How do you say it?
War Games.
Yes, it is coming back December 6th, 2020, and the team has been made. It's Pat McAfee, Oni Lorcan, Danny Burch, and Pete Dunne going to
The Kings of NXT.
The Kings of NXT going up against the UE, baby, the Undisputed Era. Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, Roddy Strong, and Adam Cole, baby. I'm excited for this. I am. I love it.
So I haven't seen NXT yet, but I've seen some clips on the internet. Very excited for this match. I kind of knew this is what they were building towards. Pat McAfee, I mean, if you only really saw him from what he did with Adam Cole, I think he's doing even better work here. I think he cuts a promo like every single week, and I think it's really good. It's fantastic. And I mean, I really like Burch and Lorcan. I think they were underutilized. So now elevating them with McAfee, Pete Dunne coming back from the pandemic, I think it's just a perfect way to kind of turn Undisputed Era face. And I've really been enjoying what's going on. This is definitely kind of the best stuff going on NXT. If you guys don't watch NXT, definitely would recommend it.
Absolutely. I still haven't even watched Halloween Havoc.
That was a really good show. But that was maybe one of the best NXT shows in a while.
Oh, really? I'm going to have to check it out for real. All right. This day in wrestling, Mr. Perfect wins the Intercontinental Championship from Kerry Von Erich in 1990. It was, I think, maybe it was Superstars of Wrestling, Primetime Wrestling, whichever one. Also, this was actually Undertaker's real debut. a couple days before the Survivor Series. Kane, the Undertaker, he had a match on that show with a jobber. I forget what their name is. WCW Clash of Champions 1991. Rick Rude defeats Sting to become the United States champion. ECW 1995 was Brian Pillman's ECW debut at Hardcore TV. Survivor Series 1995, Bret Hart defeats Diesel to become the WWF World Heavyweight Champion. Survivor Series 2000, 20 years ago, Kurt Angle retains against The Undertaker. Genesis, TNA, 2000, I think it was 2006. I can't remember who did business there. I know they had a pay-per-view. Raw in the same 2007, Chris Jericho returned to the WWE yet again to save us, to change the world as we know it. That would lead into the feud with Shawn Michaels in 08 and the whole suit and tie. So that's where this Return Jericho comes from. And Miss Elizabeth, she would have been 60 years old on this day. Any thoughts about the thing?
It's a lot of shows. Normally, the fall Thanksgiving time has a long and cherished history with pro wrestling. So, no shock. There's so many shows going on at this time.
Absolutely. Jack of all trades. We got the fan mail. Drew looked like a star Monday night, recapturing the top prize in the game, but I wish Randy held it longer. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. Hootie Who 420.
Hootie Who.
Drew told Randy, I want my title back, heifer. And took back what was rightfully his. Oh, that's funny.
That's a callback.
That is a callback. Heifer. It's a callback. You have to start saying it like that, though, so it actually works out. All right, Brightest Day X, Mr. X. Are you ready for? You weren't gonna do the Mr. X gimmick, even though I already said
shout out Mr. X. Is that what I do? I forget.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Gotta say, Mazel Tov to Jon and Renee. They're gonna make damn fire parents. Absolutely. After watching The Miz this Monday, there is a fine line between a good heel and just being annoying. Miz does them both so well. You have to love it, right? Miz and Mrs. every Monday night. Am I right?
And Thursday, they get double duty.
Ooh.
And Toto Bellas is back. And The Bachelorette is on. There's just so many wonderful reality TV that I can watch right now.
Oh my god. In a recent interview, Paul Heyman explained the reason why Vince and company didn't turn Roman heel in the past was because he looked too young. But now at 35, he has the look of someone who has been through some battles as well as having the weight of the world on his shoulders. What do you think about this?
That doesn't really make any sense because there's young heels all the time. I mean, The Rock was a heel before. I mean, he was babyface, but then they turned him heel because they realized it wasn't working.
I think what he means by that, he was young in his career, didn't really have like the reps of being on the road like that and having like all these really big battles. And now that he's 35 years old, I mean, look, he's battled.
I mean, technically the Shield was a heel, so Roman started his career as a heel.
Talk about like a solo heel, man. That's what we're talking about here. On the main stage. That's what we're talking about. I mean, look at the battles. He's battled Rollins and Randy and Take and Brock and Hunter. He's gone to war with a lot of people. Now he has the weight of his world on his shoulders, carrying the Universal Championship. He's the head of the table. He's the leader of probably the most dominant family in the history of this business. So yeah, it all works out now. It all makes sense now.
Better late than never, I guess.
Absolutely. I thought he was going to be like the guy behind me, Big Match John. We're just never going to get it. Never going to get it. Never going to get it. You a fan of that song? I don't remember who sings it. I just know I like it.
I know the Fat Rock as a kid sang it in the shower with the Central Intelligence. That's that Kevin Hart movie. See, I watched a Kevin Hart movie.
You have to watch the stand-up. You have to watch the stand-up. He's talking about the vid, butter beat-offs, all of it. It's on Netflix now. Yeah,
I'm trying to put over Kevin Hart, and then you just...
What? You have to watch the stand-ups.
I'd rather watch reruns of the Chappelle Show.
Call me when Dave Chappelle sells out like a 40,000 seat stadium. Call me when he does that.
I'm pretty sure if he wanted to, he could, but he just chooses not to.
He probably wants to. He just can't because his jokes aren't funny.
I'm pretty sure he could sell out a stadium if he wanted to.
But
he also went into hiatus for like 15 years when he was the hottest thing in comedy.
Dude, a hologram of Richard Pryor could sell out a stadium faster than Dave Chappelle. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay. I mean, that's your prerogative.
It's not mine. I'm a man of the people, and this is what the people tell me. Anyway, our last question from In Brightest Day X, Mr. X. Okay, so I'm happy for Drew, but what was the point of having Randy win the title to begin with? Yes, we are going to talk about that. Let's jump into Monday Night Raw, ladies and gentlemen. Drew 2 times. He becomes a 2-time WWE World Heavyweight Champion. The entrance was badass. The kilt, the sword, everything. He defeats Randy Orton. He's the champion again. What the hell was the point? What was the point?
So the only reasoning I can think of giving Randy the title is just for the long haul of building up Randy having whatever 16 titles so they can maybe do something with John, or just so they can give him a title reign just to say he had a title reign and just, falsely build up those numbers like the Dudley Boys back in the day. But I mean, I agree with you. If Drew was going to win the title back, or if the plan was to do Roman and Drew the entire time, then why have that month gap or whatever it was, 3-week gap of Randy winning the title when he didn't do anything? It just doesn't make any sense. I don't know if it's inconsistencies, if it's not building ahead, or they thought that it was going to work out, but it didn't, and they switched it back. I mean, maybe we'll find out one day, but I questioned the move at the time of why he put it on Randy, and now putting it back on Drew, it makes even less sense because I thought, okay, maybe if Drew loses, then they're just going to move away from it. But then they kept going. Yeah, it's just all over the place right now.
Look, I mean, it felt bigger. Absolutely, his win felt bigger, sure, than it did when he beat Brock. But look, man, I mean, I pictured it. Okay, Randy's gonna Randy and Roman. That was interesting to me because we don't get heel versus heel often. That intrigued me. It really did. I thought, okay, we're gonna get Orton versus Edge at Mania for the title. That's where I was thinking. That's where I was going with this. But no. So now, who wrestles Drew McIntyre for the WWE title now at WrestleMania? Let's do that.
I mean, if we're going to at WrestleMania, that one's kind of hard to really pan out. I mean, we have Sheamus, who we've kind of established are friends with Drew. Sheamus technically is kind of a heel, but he's buddy with Drew, and I assume he's going to turn on him. Maybe that's the Royal Rumble matchup. And I think beyond that, I think it's just really hard to kind of look at like a top heel on Raw. I'm trying to think maybe like AJ Styles. I mean, AJ Styles and Drew have talked about how they've always kind of just missed each other. Ships in the night crossing, and maybe that can be a fun matchup, but AJ is a little undersized compared to Drew. I don't know. I mean, that's kind of the one that kind of sticks out to me.
I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. New Day retains their titles against the Hurt Business. It was a decent match. Lana 9 times. She gets put through a table for the 9th week in a row. At this point, Lana, run to the back. What are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really make any sense. I don't really know what the point of this is. I mean, I know,
bro, she's gonna get the win for the Survivor Series team.
Yeah, it's probably gonna build to something like that, and then Lana putting Nia through a table. I've heard that's kind of where they're trying to go with this. And then also, you had Dana Brooke and Mandy put in the match, and they just get taken out. So, what was the point of them being in the match in the first? And then we get the terrible pairing of Peyton Royce and Lacey Evans. I like both of them individually, but why is Peyton with another team when it's not the Iconics?
I mean, maybe Lacey Evans is iconic in her own right. We don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Will you do the gimmick though, like you used to?
Only the young boy number 2 can do that. Oh,
Jesus. I hear he's still training.
Good for him.
Good. Yes, good for him. May God help him. All right, ladies and gentlemen, AEW. Dynamite! Brandon, I missed the first match of the night. What was it? Tell us all about it.
Well, the first match of the night, it was the Young Bucks taking on Top Flight. I am forgetting what their names are, but I know their last names are Martin. I think this one's Darius. I don't want to say Darius and Dante. Not exactly sure on that. But, I mean, good match. They did a little quick video on Top Flight, just kind of introducing them. One's 19, one's 21, so very young in the business. And the Bucks get the win. Top Flight, gets some offense, but for the most part, the Bucks get a decisive win at the end. It's kind of what I wanted it to be. Some good action, but relatively short. Young Bucks go over strong.
Absolutely. I love it. The Inner Circle in Vegas, we saw Conan, we saw Smoke, which we assume was Ganja. There was Hornswoggle in a diaper crying like a little baby. There was Jericho and MJF arguing over alcohols, tequila, gin, tonic, Goose get loosey with the goosey. They didn't have a little bit of the bubbly. There was none of that. Wardlow and Hager just beating people up. Santana and Ortiz getting things going with Conan. But it was a whole thing, man.
So when it comes to Jericho and the Inner Circle, I'm kind of divided on this. I mean, I did not like the dinner Debon Air, whatever the hell it was called.
That was great.
I did not like it. And this is kind of a little bit more the same. And I feel like at this point of Jericho's career, where he's athletically, he's not exactly where he used to be. I think he's just kind of relying a little too much on the viral memes and trying to do the funny vignette and trying to find whatever next big thing he can put on a t-shirt. And I mean, yeah, there's like kind of some funny parts to it. Like I kind of did like the hangover bit at the end, but like this isn't what I like. I can see this in WWE now. Are they executing it and is it a little funnier than in WWE? Yeah. But it's like AEW is supposed to be this serious sports like whatever company, and yet they're doing more things like WWE.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Don't say those two words. Don't say those two words.
It is. That's what this is, bud. It is sports and entertainment. You put them together, boom. It's the biggest franchise, it's sports entertainment. But that, I mean, look, bro. TNA, they came on. They said we're an athletic competition. We're gonna give you real wrestling. And then, bro, look, we had ODB and Eric Young as women's tag team champions. We had to pretend like, oh, Joseph Park and Abyss, they're not the same guy. But come on, dude. All wrestling companies are eventually going to get into that.
But they're not doing like I know Impact is doing the Wrestler's House, and I have kind of seen a little bit of it, and that's not exactly the best thing in the world either.
I'm like all wrestling companies will eventually venture into the entertainment realm and aspect of the sport.
New Japan hasn't done that, and I very much enjoy New Japan.
Are you kidding me? Are you serious? Are you serious?
I mean, I don't see New Japan going on some wacky 10-minute hiatus or whatever journey to whatever Ryogoku or.
That's what being the elite was for, bro. That's exactly what it was for, dude. Come on, man.
Yeah, but that's not a part of the company.
Of course, it's part of the company. They were a part of the company. It's part of the company. Yeah. I mean, look, DDT in Japan. You know, I mean, now they made a living off of being the comedy act in Japan. I mean, you have what Ibushi wrestling a blow up doll. You have Kenny Omega committing child abuse against a 9-year-old girl that now works for his wrestling company. I mean, the wrestling companies do this. This is just what happens. Hell, if we were to start a wrestling company, I guarantee you there would be some comedy in there.
You can do comedy. I'm just saying, why do they have to always have these over-the-top vignettes?
Because they can afford it.
Just because you can afford something doesn't mean you need to do it.
It has to be bigger and better.
Just because you can afford to try to sabotage democracy doesn't mean you should do it.
Whoa.
Sorry, we're not getting political on the podcast.
Whoa, hey, bro, I don't know what you're talking about there, bud. Jesus. So Boundless, nice little video package hyping up AEW premieres by Director X. What are your thoughts on that? He works for Vice.
Yeah, I mean, this was I liked kind of the look and the aesthetic to it. They ran this commercial like in the middle of Raw. It kind of caught my eye and I had to run it back. So I mean, if this is kind of their staple, their commercial they're gonna run all the time, I think it's cool. I mean, it's not exactly like look at all these cool moves we're doing. It's kind of look at these cool people we have. But I mean, I like it. It's definitely like kind of like the cool vibe. Because like when I watch whatever football or whatever on Fox and they run the SmackDown commercials, it's kind of like, I mean, it doesn't really capture my eye if I was like someone who was open to watching wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, when I first saw this, I'm like, is Vice about to do an AEW doc? I'm like, oh my god, yes, I want to see that. That's what I thought this was at first, but I enjoyed it. Jon Moxley cuts a promo discussing, what's going to be happening with him and Kenny Omega. Talks about lessons his father taught him. Talks about how he has a pregnant wife at home. We talked about that. What are your thoughts on the Mox promo?
Just another strong Moxley promo, and because of what happened later on in the show, this was, the only way for him really to voice his opinion. And I thought it was a very strong promo for Moxley once again.
Absolutely. Orange Cassidy freshly squeezed defeats Kip Sabian. Super bad. Yeah, he does that, and then what the hell is his name? Miro comes in like a hot tamale, clotheslines Cassidy, and then runs away. Yeah.
I thought it was a good match. I like how Cassidy has the mousetrap kind of, roll up finishers. So, he can get wins, but it doesn't exactly devalue or hurt the other person too much. And I think Cassidy is on a higher level than Sabian is at this point. Now, I kind of think Sabian could be used a little bit more, but I think at this point, Cassidy getting the win does make sense. I mean, I know they're ultimately building to best friends in Miro and Sabian, but I mean, we shall see. It's at least they're kind of stepping a little bit more away from the video game aspect and just kind of focusing on the hatred between the two teams.
Yeah, look, they're all lesser than because they're fighting over a damn video game. This is stupid. This is literally stupid. You're telling me grown men are gonna fight over a video game?
It's a collector's item.
So, I don't give a damn. I don't care.
Someone broke your PS5 that you just bought. I bet you'd be very angry as well.
Didn't just buy a PS5.
But if you did,
I mean, that wouldn't happen. I don't let anybody come to my house.
Well, you need to teach Miro and Kip Sabian how to protect their things.
Yeah, you left the biggest wrestling company in the world to have a feud over a video game. That's really nice, dude. You know?
But at least he can stream on Twitch like he wants to.
Who cares, bro? It wasn't that he couldn't. No, it wasn't even that they didn't try to give him the brass ring. He couldn't grab it. He couldn't climb up the ladder and grab it and take it. He couldn't do that. He really couldn't.
It's hard to grab the brass ring when there's a glass ceiling right underneath that brass ring.
You break the glass ceiling, you grab the brass ring, and you become a star. Daniel Bryan did it. CM Punk did it.
As much as I love Miro, he is not CM Punk or Daniel Bryan.
I know. That's my point. Guys that were looked at, they're not really going to be much in this business, and boom, they became stars. Now, Miro, it'd be a nice comedy act that we'll remember. He might be in the Eugene territory. Now that I look at it, yeah. There was a world championship contract signing. Kenny Omega has the elaborate entrance. He's really egotistical. I don't like that. I don't like my wrestlers to have big egos. I don't like that at all. He's there, and Jon Moxley is found unconscious backstage. So Kenny signs the contract, and what happened to Mox, man?
I mean, we don't exactly know what happened. I mean, I think you're supposed to assume it was Kenny's doing, but I think they're going to go a different route and have, hopefully not Hangman do it, but maybe somebody else just attacking Moxley. And that's kind of like the next thing that leads after the Moxley match, or maybe Kenta attacked him. I don't know. But I mean, I actually kind of liked the segment, even though it was kind of awkward as a whole, just because it was different than what we're usually seeing from contract signing. So I kind of enjoyed it, even though, in the moment it was kind of weird and kind of clunky.
Absolutely. Pac, the bastard Pac. He makes his return to in-ring competition for All Elite Wrestling, defeating The Blade, who was accompanied by The Butcher and The Bunny. Yes, so Pac gets the big win, and The Butcher and Kingston, they come out there, they start attacking Pac, and then Rey Fenix tries to help, and Phoenix gets stomped out, and then Pentagon comes out there with a chair, starts swinging for the fences, so the Triangle de la Muerte is back together.
The match between Pac, whatever his name is, and Blade, Pac. I mean, I enjoyed it. I thought Eddie Kingston commentary once again added a nice little aspect to it, and I really did enjoy the ending angle. I know it is kind of rushed because you thought maybe Pentagon was going to be on Kingston's side, but then they just kind of scrapped it all and just kind of went back to where we were with Triangula de la Muerte combining once again. But I did like it, especially what happens at the end of the show, that we get a possible heel turn, but we didn't get it.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Cargill, she stomps Brandy's arm in a chair, and it looks like she was being helped by Vicky Guerrero and Nyla Rose.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the, whatever was it? What were we at? Full Gear. The Nyla Rose match. Vicky slapped Nyla, and that was kind of the end of that. We haven't exactly seen too much storyline development from those two, so I guess maybe Vicky is trying to align herself with Cargill, and maybe they have some sort of faction together. But I mean, it's fine. I mean, it's kind of building to maybe Cargill and Brandy out of a match somewhere down the road. But I mean, it's fun. It's just kind of like a little detour, a little movement forward from the kind of big startup angle we had last week.
The Vicious Vixens are in full effect, baby. All right, so Serena Deep defeats Thunder Rosa um, to retain the NWA World Women's Championship with some help from Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. Yeah, so Deep wins, and then Thunder Rosa starts attacking Britt and stuff like that. So, where are we going here, bro? I think Britt Baker should be the AEW Women's World Champion, but she's getting mixed up in NWA World's Women's Title matches. What's going on?
I mean, I don't know. We have Allison Kay taking on Hikaru Shida next week for the AEW Women's Title. Think Shida retains there, but I mean, I really enjoyed this Serena Deeb Thunder Rosa match. I might say this was my favorite match of the night. And with Britt Baker getting in, get involved at the end, but I liked how Britt Baker got involved, and you thought maybe that was gonna be the finish, but it wasn't. They went on for like another 3 to 5 minutes. But in the end, Deeb gets the win, which you can go back to Thunder Rosa getting attacked, and that's kind of the reason why she ended up losing. And Thunder Rosa taking on Britt Baker as a feud, whether it be on its own or maybe with the NWA title thrown in the mix somehow. I'm very much looking forward to that.
Yes, absolutely, man, 100%. All right, Team Taz, the FTW World Champion, Brian Cage, and all that not all that, Jesus, what's his gimmick? I don't remember. Ricky Starks. They go up against the new TNT champion, the champion of America's Greatest Network, the eccentric Darby Allin, and of course, the American Nightmare, the Prince of Pro Wrestling, Cody Rhodes. Team Taz wins with an avalanche drill claw, the suplex pile driver by Cage to Darby Allin. So before we talk about what happens after that, what are your thoughts on this match?
I enjoyed the match quite a bit. Darby is one of those guys that he can take a loss. He's so undersized, and especially with Cage and taking that devastating move at the end, it made sense for Cage to get the win here. And I think Cody and Darby being a team, they worked fine. They weren't exactly buddy by any means, but I very much enjoyed this match. I thought this show on a whole was very good show just based on the wrestling.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then we see the master of willpower, Will Hobbs, Bay Area native APW alumni. He comes out there with a chair. He's been doing this. That's kind of his gimmick. He's the new chairman of the company, not Sean Spears. He comes out there with a chair, and then he just clocks Cody Rhodes with it. So Will Hobbs heel turn. He aligns himself with Team Taz.
I'm very excited for this. I know Will Hobbs, as I said earlier, I like how they had Penta basically do the exact same thing, but he didn't turn. So maybe on the back of your mind, Will Hobbs comes out, so you just kind of subconsciously think, okay, he's with Cody, he's with Darby, he's been there before. They're not going to turn him heel. They didn't do it earlier, so why are they going to do it now? But then Hobbs turns heel, and I like the pairing. I mean, Hobbs and Cage might be a little too similar in terms of body size, but I think having them kind of be like the big muscle guys and kind of having them all together, I think that really does work well if they're going to go up against the other baby faces in AEW.
Absolutely, 100%. I love it. I can't wait to see what William Hobbs is going to do there. Big old Willa Hobbs. Willa Hobbs. Yes, absolutely. But you know why he did it though, right?
Did he do it for The Rock?
There you go. Yes, sir. You already know. Woo! All right, ladies and gentlemen, Survivor Series, the Bullet Cast title is on the line. Will I acclaim my 10th Bullet Cast title? Will Brandon get his 10th? Or will Baby Huey continue his third run with the most prestigious prize in all of digital media audio? Did you know if you're the Bullet Cast champion, you're the best podcaster in the world? Did you know that?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. You've been there 9 times. How's that feel, bro? That feel good?
Feels good. I'm going to just like Randy Orton. I'm going to win it, get it for a cup of coffee, and then lose it again.
Hey, you never know, man.
So I can stack up so I can get to 16.
I'm going for the real record, which is 21. We'll see. All right, Survivor Series, the men's Raw Survivor Series team. Limitless Keith Lee, the phenomenal AJ Styles, the Celtic Warrior Sheamus, the Monster Among Men Braun Strowman, and the Pothead Riddle go up against Kevin Owens, Jey Uso, King Corbin, Seth Rollins, and a partner to be determined. The men's Raw team or the SmackDown team?
I mean, all these matches, I'll be honest, I really don't care for either one of them, but I will go with Raw. I think all these matches, I'm going to really have no reason behind it. So I'm going to go with Raw just because for the most part, they have like kind of a more cohesive story about the team, and maybe AJ is a lone survivor, or maybe someone else is a lone survivor and they can claim that they're the captain. I don't know.
Absolutely. All right, the Raw Women's Champion, the Empress of
Are
Tomorrow.
you gonna make a pick?
Oh, Jesus, I didn't make a pick, huh? I'll go SmackDown men's.
What convoluted BS way do you think they get Braun Strowman out of this match, or does he survive? Because it feels like he's always in this match and he always gets counted out or put through a table or something.
Dude, no, they have to save the table for Lana, so they can't do that. Dude, I have no idea. Probably just get counted out or something, bro. That's how I see it. All right, the Empress of Tomorrow, the Raw Women's Champion, Asuka, going up against the SmackDown Women's Champion, the legit boss, Blueface Banks.
I'm going to go with Asuka. I'm actually very much looking forward to this match. Hopefully they give both these women the time to work a good match. I would assume Carmella gets involved somehow.
That's where I was going too, so I will go Asuka as well. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the New Day, the Raw Tag Team Champions, going up against the Street Profits, the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. We want the smoke. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, what have the Street Profits really done on SmackDown lately?
Not a whole lot, which is the reasoning why I will go with the Street Profits. I think this could be another fun match as well. I mean, I have no real reasoning behind it. I'm just trying to balance out between Raw and SmackDown because I know WWE is going to throw up that counter and be like, oh my gosh, it's tied. Who's going to get brand supremacy? Who's going to get bragging rights, even though it doesn't really matter?
So who you got?
I said the Profits of the Streets.
You said the Profits of the Streets. Oh, I'll go New Day. Yeah, I think I'll do that. So you said Profits. I'll go New Day dubs. New Day boys. All right, what else is here? Oh, yes, the not the SmackDown, but the Raw and SmackDown Women's Survivor Series team. So here we go. The Women's Tag Team Champions, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, going up against Lacey Evans, Peyton Royce, and Lana. They are going up against the EST of WWE, Bianca Belair. You have Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, and two to be announced. Wait, no, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, two to be announced for SmackDown. So I'm going with Raw, the Raw women.
As we talked about, Lana is kind of the main storyline with this. Is she going to stick up for herself? Is she going to attack Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler? I'm going to go with SmackDown. Bianca Belair's been getting kind of a strong push over there. I would assume they want to keep her strong. Maybe she's the sole survivor. So I will go with Bianca Belair.
Wow.
The SmackDown team.
Okay.
But mainly Bianca Belair.
All right, the United States Champion, the CEO of the Hurt Business, Bobby Lashley, going up against the artist, the Intercontinental Champion, Sami Zayn. Now, Retribution has to get involved here. Am I right?
They don't have to.
I mean, but it's WWE. We know. We're not stupid here. We're not stupid on this show. So, you going with the CEO or the artiste?
I'll go with Bobby Lashley. I think they want to protect him. They want to have him, get. I'm not saying he's going to squash Sami Zayn by any means, but maybe some sort of BS with the Hurt Business and Retribution, and Bobby Lashley wins. Because
I'll go Sami Zayn.
I feel like Bobby Lashley is kind of the only person in the Hurt Business that they really are protecting. So I think they're going to want to make him. They don't want to just make him lose this, especially to Sami Zayn, because it's Sami Zayn.
He could lose by like a count out or a DQ. I think that protects him. He doesn't have to get pinned. All right, it's the big main event. The WWE Champion, the new WWE Champion, Drew McIntyre, the Scottish Psychopath, going up against the Tribal Chief, the big dog, the head of the table, the Universal Champion, Roman Reigns. I got the big dog all day.
So if this match was in AEW, I would be very much looking forward to it because I know they would give us a finish. But I know in WWE, they're going to have some sort of convoluted finish of a distraction or something or another. I'm going to go with Roman. He hasn't lost yet. Might as well keep him strong. It makes sense.
Absolutely. So, I have the men's Survivor SmackDown team. You have the Raw men's team. We both have Asuka. I have New Day. You have Profits. You have the SmackDown women's team. I have the Raw women's team. You have Lashley. I have Zayn. We both have Roman. And last up is the Undertaker farewell. 30 years coming up this Sunday. You know what, Brandon? Maybe we should do a watch along to Survivor Series 1990. Maybe we should do that. Should we do that?
I was gonna save that for the match pick.
Oh, man.
Messing up my feng shui.
It's okay, bro. Look, we'll do a couple matches watch along for Survivor Series 1990. We'll air that Saturday. You know, a day before the big show. How's that sound? That sound cool with you?
I'm gonna see how my schedule works out.
Okay, absolutely. All right. But yes, it's the farewell. It's coming up, man. Oh my God, I can't believe it's been 30 years. What do you think we're gonna see?
I don't exactly know. Maybe they put this at the beginning because I don't think they're gonna put that in the main event. I mean, maybe they do. I don't exactly know, but I mean, as you said, we got BSK scheduled to appear. I think we're just gonna have like the Undertaker maybe take his hat off and his coat and just lay it in the middle of the ring and cuts a promo, and we have like some shenanigans, not in terms of like an angle or anything, but just kind of like, all the boys having fun.
Absolutely. When Undertaker was on Hot Ones, he was asked, "What 4 matches would you tell somebody to watch to try to emulate in your career to really get that connection with the crowd?" You know what one of them was?
Buried Alive Survivor Series 2003.
Of course not. WrestleMania 25. Taker Shawn. And he also said the greatest wrestling match ever, which was Edge and Randy Orton. He threw those out there, and he threw out Steamboat Savage. Threw out some really good matches, man. I love it. Our promo pick of the week, the Mega Powers team, November 13th, 1988. This is what, 32 years ago? Jesus. You have to love it. This is when teams of 5 strive to stay alive, It was Hogan. It was Savage. He was the WWE champion at the time. You have Coco Beware. You have Hercules. It was great, man. You have to love it.
Yeah, I mean, good, solid promo, late 80s, as you'd expect. And as you would expect, Hogan and Savage carrying the promo, as they should.
3 out of the 4 of those men are Hall of Famers, bud.
Shadow Coco Beware.
Woo! The Birdman. You have to love it. All right, what is our match pick of the week?
Well, speaking of Survivor Series 1990, we have the $1 Million Team taking on the Dream Team. And this is the debut of The Undertaker with a Brother Love in his corner. $1 Million Man teases a mystery opponent. So no real reasoning behind it. Just he says the Undertaker. Undertaker comes out with Brother Love. Why? We don't really know. So with Undertaker, his 30-year anniversary / farewell, it is apropos to watch his debut match 30 years ago.
From Death Valley, The Undertaker. Look at the size of that ham hock. I mean, just iconic sound bites from wrestling history, not just WWE, but from wrestling sports entertainment history. You have to love it. It's been a crazy ride, man. I mean, I'm sure we're going to reflect on his career more once, we see the final farewell this upcoming Sunday. Yeah, man. So I guess that's going to wrap it up for us here. I did an interview with Baby Huey from 107.7 The Bone and the In the Click podcast. We did that, I think it was Tuesday, Wednesday night. Yeah, it's going to be up tomorrow, Friday. We go into depth about, how we got started in broadcasting and radio and where the Baby Huey name comes from. How we had to move on within the click after Bimbo Jimbo went on to do other things, and just his love for wrestling and music, man. It's really a great listen.
It is a great listen. Definitely listen to it.
It hasn't even
Fantastic.
aired. It hasn't even aired yet.
I have my sources, Philip. Okay.
I didn't email you anything. What are you?
Well,
what are you talking about?
Just because you didn't email me doesn't mean I don't have it.
How do you have it? I haven't since.
I may or may not be a hacker in my off time.
Oh, okay, Jesus. Yeah. Well, I hope
work
you guys.
For Anonymous.
I hope you guys look forward to that this
Kayfabe.
Friday. And yeah, man. I mean, this Friday, Huey. Saturday, our watch along Sunday Survivor Series. And when Cindy gives me her show, I'll throw it up on Monday. That's 5 straight days of content, bro. That's great. That's great for this show. Absolutely. I love it.
And then maybe Under the Radar returns on Tuesday.
Oh my God.
Don't get your hopes up.
I'm doing another interview on Monday. Maybe I'll air that on Wednesday. Oh my, 7 straight days. What? Jesus Christ. I mean, look at it, brother. Look at it.
Curveballs and Cherry Shots every Friday.
Oh, of course. Yes. Maybe I'll be on there one day.
Maybe.
We don't know. I'll come talk some some Toronto Raptors, bro.
Threw down money. Arizona Cardinals +3 with the under. So I'll be either really happy tomorrow or really sad.
We'll find out. We can't wait. We can't
I
wait.
am a degenerate gambler.
Oh, yes. Follow us on Twitter at Bulletcast, Instagram, The Bulletcast, YouTube channel, The Bulletcast. Email us to, that's Bulletcast2 as in the number 2, sweet as WET@gmail.com. 99.9 FM KW and watchable every Thursday night. iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, iRadio, Anchor, Spotify, Patreon. We're all over the damn place. Thank you guys so much. Tomorrow, the Baby Hugh interview. Saturday, our watch-along of Survivor Series 1990. We'll watch a couple matches. Sunday, our recap from Survivor Series, where, of course, Raw and SmackDown go head-to-head for the Battle of Brand Supremacy, the Undertaker, not interview, but we're going to recap the career and what we love about the dead man. All of that's coming on Sunday. Thank you, guys. Stay clean, stay strong, stay safe, stay quarantined. Diamonds are forever, and so is the microphone messiah.
Bulletcast for life. Get up! This is a revolution. This is our time to rise. Look deep within your mind. Look deep into the hate in my eyes. We are the elite, and you are the weak. No matter how hard I fall, I'll get back up on my feet. Red alert, this is gonna hurt. When your face is in the dirt, you'll know your death is what I seek. We are the elite, and you are the weak, and I will always get back up on my feet.
This has been the Bulletcast. Thank you for listening.